episode 24, the episode not dedicated to Jeff Gordon. Thank you all for listening to episode 23, Bears and Batmans and Biscuits, oh my. I am Gary on this Saturday morning here with...
Do I count in the Bears category or the Biscuits?
You're definitely not the Batmans, but you could be Batman.
I could be Batman.
Matt Reeves is looking for one. You would fit that bill.
No. That was it. That was my best Batman.
So was that...
I was dying. That was dying Batman.
I don't know. I feel like you were more like the male Consuela from Family Guy. Oh, no.
We need more lemon pledge.
No, we're out of lemon pledge.
So who are you? You can be... Who do you want today?
Bat Bear.
Bat Bear, okay.
Bat Bear. Okay, Bat Bear. And who else is here?
Jake, but Jake's going to play more of a stat guy role.
And Jake Butt plays for the Broncos, so that's not possible.
All right, well, I'm not Jake Butt.
You're
Jake
Butt
Wayne.
Jake.
Butt Jake, all right.
2 T's or 1 T?
5 T's.
I like it.
But Jake. And you said you were playing the role of stat guy today, so you're going to give us stats today since wrestling is not your forte?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give my best, non-educated, just random guesses, but, I'll do what I can do.
All right, that sounds fair enough. And Bear's going to actually write down our picks today.
Nope.
Okay, maybe not.
I am going to put our initials next to them, just like I did last week.
Oh, still making the picks. I like it.
Yes.
Wait,
So-
does Stat Guy's picks count for wrestling, or?
Yeah,
no?
I do have your record here once we get to it after Gary goes over our sponsors.
Yes, I will go over our sponsors. I'm going to remind people that All Wear Clothing is who we enjoy. Thank you, All Wear Clothing, for being a sponsor to us.
Yeah, and
as always.
it was nice to meet Brandon, too, at the football game last week.
Yeah.
Finally. After you rudely walked over there.
I saw him and I walked away.
Walked over there, talked to somebody, come back. Like, oh, Gary, who are you talking to? Oh, Brandon. Oh, Brandon who? Oh, from Allwear. Oh, you mean the guy that sponsors our show? Maybe Brandon and I should go meet him as well.
Yeah, so I took you guys
So then
over.
we walked back over there.
Yeah.
I was over there for
Thanks.
a half hour.
Thanks, Brandon. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, I wasn't there that long.
Not Brandon from the show.
And before we get to the rest of the sponsors, thanks to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music, and give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. Thank you as well to, you know what, I'm going to save them. Thank you to Verizon for what they do for us, of course. And they are a true technology business partner who helps local businesses deploy technologies that positively impact operations and can increase revenue for the company. At Verizon, we do not wait for the future, we build it. Go to their website, get in touch with the sales rep in your area. Thank you to Tim and Stephanie. Credit scores on the rise, hopefully. Bears as well. Did you ever actually find out if it went up?
Yeah, we think we went over that on Tuesday, that it went up 2 points. I haven't checked it since then, so I don't know.
All right, and Jake's still, slacking. His stats and credit score are about in line.
You know what? I don't want to hear it. I think I'm doing pretty well for being 22, so I don't want to hear your bull crap.
Get him,
reasons over there.
girl.
What are you, 30 now? 32, 34,
600.
40, 50, 60, 90? What are you doing over
69.
there? There you go.
31.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Old as dirt.
Times 3 plus 6. So, we can get that. Bear with the quick math.
That's 93 plus 6. That's 99.
Yeah.
I nailed it.
You did?
I'm on top of it this morning.
I'd rather be 31 times 2 plus...
I think I can think
7.
better when I don't have to smell Brandon's pumpkin spice
Yeah, I agree.
and French toast stick breath from Burger King. So
I totally agree. So thank you to Cassandra at PNC, who will help you with your banking needs, whether it be loans, credit cards, personal banking. She's there to help. Give her a call, 419-877-0634. And we still kind of have this guy as a sponsor. Barry, you can thank him.
Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. Is that Sean Crandall or Sean Crandall?
It's CN Crandall.
CN Crandall. Okay. Yeah, we appreciate everything CN does by not going and picking my weeds, so I have to do it by myself, which is kind of rude, but so be it. Sean does do a really good job, though, so as long as you're not in...
let me pick this week.
Okay, I was about to say, I need to write down countries and cross them off as I go, because there's a lot.
You
so
said
go
you were
ahead.
going to do it.
I am. I need to.
Go ahead, Jake.
Let's go Luxembourg.
Nice pick.
Luxembourg.
I don't think they're a country anymore, but nice pick.
they're not?
I don't think so.
Stat guy, why don't you get on that? Since you're like, I'm going to do good with stats this week. And if they're not a country,
I could be wrong, but I thought
think they
that-
still are.
Are they? I
think
thought
so.
they were eaten by like Germany or something. They close. They're like all close right there. It's okay. Do they make like Rolexes or something?
No, it's definitely still a country.
Is it?
Yeah.
Since when? Is there a date? Anyways,
Keep it going, Stat Guy.
Yeah, Crandall's Quality Lawn Care won't take care of you in Luxembourg, but will take care of you in Toledo and surrounding areas. What's his number? Because I can't memorize that.
419-704-5471.
If it was 281-330-8004, I'd be able to remember it.
Hit Mike Jones up on the low.
What?
Because Mike Jones about to blow.
Who?
Mike Jones.
There we go.
All right, here we go. Luxembourg has been a country since June 9th,
2018.
1815.
All right.
I
Can you
could've
spell Luxembourg for us?
Luxembourg.
I mean, he was looking right at it, so it doesn't really count.
O-U-R-G. So it's Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. I could have swore they were taken over by somebody. Maybe that was WWE2, and I just didn't get over it. I can't remember.
Maybe it was Saudi Arabia. They're still having Crown Jewel.
Maybe.
get into that later.
Yeah,
No, it's still happening.
All the 2 matches that are on it.
There was
I'm
only
saying
four
after
to-
everyone backs out.
It was the same. Well, there's more matches with the tournament, but they'll keep it going. So let's just talk really quick. Women's Evolution. Recap that. Bear, what's the records? What do we have?
All right, so myself, and Irene went 6-1 this week. Dominated. My only loss was Becky Lynch over Charlotte, which was the best match, and we'll get to that here shortly. Stat guy Jake and Gary both went 4-3 this week, and Brandon with a very dominating 2-5.
Again?
Yeah,
Wait.
really bad.
Wait, Stat Guy did better than Brandon.
Yes.
Stat Guy knows nothing about wrestling.
And Stat Guy picked Nia Jax, which was hard to do in a 30-woman battle royal, or how many ever were on that. So, I mean, you might have piggybacked off me, but you still picked her, and that's what matters.
So I'm just going to say we are 17-10-1 together.
Okay.
Brandon is 10-17-1.
I just don't understand why I don't get who he picks and why he picks them. I don't understand. Like, I don't know if
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
if he doesn't understand that faces
He's
are
gonna win
always
the
going to
women's
win on
battle
these
royal.
cards. So, I mean, like Trish and Lita. Oh, wait, he picked them. But he didn't pick Natty, Sasha, and Bailey. I mean, the Riot Squad was never going to win.
Right. And well, he did take Ember, which was it came down to Ember and
It
Nia,
did, Amber.
which was good.
Yep. And after it was Ember and Nia and Tanisha, what's her name?
Tamina Snuka.
Tamina. Yeah, with both of them, I was like, oh, 2 big girls.
Tamina and Nia, cousins.
And that's what I said. I said, oh, they got, and that's how it normally goes. You got the 2 big people in against the smaller person, and the smaller person always wins. So when Nia, I think I texted you guys, I go, well, Ember's going to win now when it was that last one. I hope you light your mic on fire. I'm going to pour gasoline on it one day, so you do. You won't even know.
Maybe.
So
I'll know when my bird,
when you don't have a mustache.
You're not like, oh no.
You'll be like Peter.
not going to be too happy with you if you do that.
Yeah,
though.
no more mustache rides.
The podcast paid rent this month from the sponsors. Thank you, sponsors, for paying our rent in the ex-wife's garage.
That is
Well
true.
appreciated.
We had to pay that on Thursday, so that was the first of the month.
Yes.
We got it in, so we're good. I think, if you do your mortgage, you really get 15 days. So technically, we really had like 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we paid her at like 11:57 on Wednesday. It was good.
Yeah, that's good enough.
We did the whole trick or treat together.
Just paid her in candy.
Yeah, we did the whole trick or treat together as family. Usually do. It's a fun time. So what was interesting is ex-wife and girlfriend were there together. That was an interesting time.
That's a little bit odd.
Yeah, they get along. It's perfect.
How much candy did Grayson get, and why is there none in front of me right now?
I'm sorry. I brought you out some trail mix this morning.
Yeah, that's not leftover
Did you
Halloween
want some?
candy.
Did you want pumpkin spice frosted flakes?
This is the time of the year that I pawn off everyone's Halloween candy from their kids, because I don't have kids, so it's just easy. Everyone at work, I'll be like, okay, bring in all that extra candy that you guys don't want and your kids can't have and give it to me. I'd always do that with Jason. Well, Jason's not here for Halloween this year, so I'm not going to be able to steal his kids' candy now. It's ridiculous.
I'm happy we're covering Canadian Stampede later. I wish we would have covered a Halloween Havoc, but it would have kind of been in line with. It made sense. But it would have been in line with didn't Something to Wrestle With cover one or
no,
83 weeks?
83 weeks did 95 Halloween Havoc.
Did they?
So, yeah, we don't want to follow them.
No, not at
we're
all.
kind of following them, but we want to. We're not getting the background on it. We're just giving our opinion on the show more or less.
Right.
We don't have the inside scoop.
So,
anyways, back to back
let's just
to
get right
women's
into that, yeah.
evolution. Let's start from the bottom up.
well, I want to cover the co-main last. I want
Okay.
Rhonda. I want to talk about that for a little bit. So yeah, Trish and Lita beat Mickey and Alicia. What'd you think of the match?
Honestly, I turned it on late. I did not see that match.
I didn't know it started at 7.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought it started at 8 as well. That's why I turned it on a little bit late. So I was still watching football. So this was the only... I turned it on right when the Battle Royal was starting. So I didn't see Trish and Lita, but they did win.
They look good, by the way. I just saw a picture on Twitter, and they look good.
Well,
I'll
I mean,
find
they
that.
always look good, but how did they look
Yeah.
wrestling?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it
I
either.
turned on late too, but
What'd Brandon say?
let's see.
have
Let's
notes?
look what Brandon said. Great pay-per-view overall. And then he said his favorite match, of course, was the last woman standing, which we'll get into later. And he's got a good thing there. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I wanted to tell you, we didn't put it. We're not going to count this record because it was a dark match and we didn't see it. I had to do some research to find out. But Rhea Ripley beat ?
Okay.
Question mark was Dakota Kai. So, unfortunately,
Oh, I
she
would have
lost.
picked Rhea Ripley if I would have known that then.
Yeah, if we would have known that, we had no idea. So it was a dark match anyway. Nia, like we said, won the Women's Battle Royal.
Yep.
Good pick. Our picks, all four of us had either Nia or Ember, and they were the final two, so good picks by us. Toni Storm beat Io Shirai, so that was a good match. You know,
A very good match.
She needed the horsewomen to help her out to win that match. Yes, so it was good. What did you think of Sasha Bailey and Natty beating the Riot Squad?
I thought that was a pretty good match as well. I know that you said something about how you didn't like Bailey or something like that. I mean, I like Bailey. I think she's really good.
No, she's good. She's fun, but I just look at her, I'm like, ugh, you know. I don't know. It's something like, I don't know what it is. She wants hugs and shit. It's like, go away. And she's got her wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing.
Those are my favorite.
Those are the best.
The used car sales,
Yes.
inflatables.
What
Yeah.
was that, Family Guy? Wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man. Wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man.
And then of course, Always Sunny, Dee does the dance with that. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's absolutely amazing when she's just going with it and just waving back and forth, just like those. Those are some good ones. But yeah, I mean, that was a good match. Like you said, you knew it was going to happen. Natty ended up winning with the sharpshooter, right? Is that how that ended or no?
She had a double sharpshooter.
I saw that and I can't remember if that's
can't
how it
remember
ended
the
or
finish.
not. I don't either. But, faces, they're going to
I
win.
was going between that, the World Series, and the football game, so it was kind of.
I didn't have the World Series. I did have the football game on, but I did have that as well as I was trying to watch and take a little bit of notes on that. And then the next match was what's her name, Kiara Sane versus Shayna Baszler.
Yep.
And
Kairi Sane.
Yep, Kairi Sane. I didn't know who that was, and I took Baszler. I was the
She's-
only one that took Baszler, and she ended up winning. And I didn't realize how
did.
much of a monster she was.
She is. And
They
they've-
could
they've
push
had some-
her.
they've
They
had
could
some
push
great
her against
matches.
Ronda hard.
Oh, yeah.
That would be as a
Oh, yeah,
heel.
it would be.
That would be great. I think that would be huge.
It was that was I think their third match. Kyrie won that was their fourth match. Kyrie won at the Mae Young Classic, the first one, and then Shayna got the title. Kyrie took it off her in their match, and this might have been the rubber match. I can't remember, but Shayna got it back, so she got the title back. Or she's the one that had the help, not Toni Storm. Or was it Toni Storm? What did you call her? You called her something else. I asked you. I couldn't remember.
I don't remember
But
either.
Shayna had the help from the Four Horsewomen. Excuse me. You want to give us that horse noise again? There we go. So
Just do that every
before we
time
cover
now.
the match of the night,
We're just gonna make that the title. It's just I don't know how you're gonna type that out, but you're gonna type it out.
it's gonna be tough. We'll figure something out. Rhonda and Nikki.
I thought it was boring.
It was.
It was not that good. Obviously it's easy to go back and do this after the fact, but Charlotte and Becky should have been the main event.
Which we knew
and maybe that's why we didn't think the match was that great. But I just didn't think overall. I mean, I don't think Nikki
It's
Bella
tough to
coming.
follow. It's like WrestleMania 25 when they had to follow Taker and Michaels.
Yeah.
How do you follow that?
And I think Nikki Bella coming back just.
Or was that Main in 25?
What?
Michaels and Taker. Was that Main in WrestleMania 25? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think so because that would have been. I don't know. Stat guy will have to look that up. But
WrestleMania 25, stat guy.
I would
sir.
I would think that I would imagine that it wasn't because it was the second match coming back, but I honestly don't remember because that was the one in Arizona, right?
Right.
Yeah, in Phoenix.
So to get to this what should have been Main.
Definitely not the main event. Now that I'm
Becky and
thinking
Charlotte
back.
went for almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
By the way,
Amazing
And
match.
Amazing match of the night. Went almost a half hour, like we said. Brandon said to this, old Mike Chioda, which we talked about in the text, with the chair assist was funny, but the match was solid. Like there was a few things I'm like, okay, they didn't break the table the first time.
Yep. I mean,
You're gonna have these few botches. They're not heavy, you know.
yeah, they just don't have the. I mean, they're not pulling around 265 like the guys are, and the tables are different than they used to be. If that was an old school table, that would have broke easily off of the first moonsault she did. So
I agree, and Mike Chioda, I saw her reach, and I'm like, he's gonna try to kick that, and he just slides it over a couple kicks, and but I tell you what. Charlotte and Becky is a good feud.
I like the start when they threw all the chairs. They kept throwing chairs in the ring. That was really cool. I mean, it really set the tone for how it was. Inside the ring was great. Outside the ring was great. Ladders, tables, chairs. I mean, announcer tables, everything. I mean, I thought it was an absolute fantastic match. Go ahead, Jake. What you got?
What was I supposed to look at?
WrestleMania 25 main event.
Main event.
Main event. So, everything they're doing, and then obviously the final spot at the end where Charlotte does the moonsault through the table and misses, and almost gets up at 9.5. Such a great way to end, and Becky's standing there. And, I mean, she, that was a monster bump that she took, and it was insane. Looked like it hurt. But they both put on a hell of a match. I was sitting there thinking, as we were, going back, is that I guarantee they both went into the locker room and not only got a standing ovation, but I guarantee they hugged each other like immediately and realized that was an amazing match. Yeah. There's no way that they did. And nobody thought. Did
you know Vince was in Gorilla the whole time? Because they said it was a lot like.
Was he?
Yeah, they said he was the one that was calling the match. They said it was a lot like NXT, so they thought Hunter was doing it. No, it was Vince.
I didn't know that. That's really cool. And I mean, yeah, I guarantee he did the same thing. He probably was like, "Damn, that was probably."
I hope they have the backstage like they do on the network with a lot of things. I want to see that.
I think they will eventually.
Yeah.
You got to give it a little bit, but I think that that probably ends the feud. I would guess, but that also probably was maybe the best women's match ever.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree.
Definitely.
I
mean,
that's one of the best matches probably of all time. Knowing that what it meant.
The best last man woman standing match ever? Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
What do we got?
WrestleMania 25 was Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Randy, what's his name?
Yeah. So yeah, because that was the first Shawn Michaels Undertaker match, so I knew it wasn't the first match.
Yeah.
Because it was so good, you had to follow it.
Yeah.
That's what sucked. But yeah, no, definitely, I would say, like I said, we're in agreement. Definitely best women's match of all time, if not best last man / woman standing match ever. I mean, it was good. It had you on the seat. Like you said, when she was up, I was like, is she going to stand up here at 9.5 and keep going? Like, what else can she do? And you saw Becky's face as it was a perfect camera shot as Becky was standing there on the ring, or not on the ring, but standing against the ring. And she was just watching, like, in fear, and she's getting up. And then she just doesn't, and then you see the joy, and that's what makes it great. That's the whole point of making wrestling
telling
good.
A story, and they did great.
They did an amazing job doing it, and it was a phenomenal match.
That Charlotte Flair drip did not work for that match.
No, it did not.
But man, she took a hard bump through that table off the powerbomb from the top.
Yeah, a lot of those were insane. Even her first one that she hit and didn't break, and then she went through again. It just looked like it hurt Becky even. So
yeah, and Kyoto, he, like we said with the assistant, he was going around, grabbing their hands to make sure they're all right.
Oh yeah,
and he had to. They took a lot of bumps, and I'm sure they were sore, but man, they put on a hell of a match.
Yep. Absolutely, I can't deny that at all. Absolutely amazing. And I'm not a fan of. We talked about this last week after Survivor Series 2 weeks ago. I'm not a fan of the women's hardcore match. This was totally different.
Right.
I mean, this was, like you said, just excellently done. Wonderful match. I was extremely impressed. And like I said, honestly, a lot of the matches were great. I think, honestly, I really think the worst match was Ronda and Nikki Bella. And it was still a decent match. It wasn't great, but I think all the other women's matches were fantastic, in my opinion. I don't think there was really one terrible match on. That's better than a lot of pay-per-views. Definitely recent pay-per-views,
right.
But just a lot of pay-per-views in general.
I agree. And so we talk about...
Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Let me look this up, because I do have a great quote from this, because Sunday night I texted Jason, and I asked him... Hold on, wait, let me find this here, because this is great. Oh yeah, I texted him. I said, "Don't wear those sweatpants out tonight, buddy," because I know he was watching the pay-per-view. So he ended up going. I said, "Well," because he never answered me, which I thought was quite rude. So I ended up going, "Thanks for answering me yesterday. Real best friend material you are." He goes, "Sorry, phone doesn't work in the basement."
Cheesy poofs. So recent weeks we've had some heel turns, some face turns. So Dean Ambrose did a heel turn, as we know, and we discussed with Seth Rollins. Braun Strowman did a face turn, which we knew he would have to. Somebody needs to be the face in that matchup with Brock. And Elias did a face turn. I like him as a heel, but, face turn, we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't watched, but that'll be very interesting. I think you're right. I think it's a little bit odd that he's face. Why did he turn face? Who did he?
Because they don't have enough faces on the show. With Roman gone, Dean turned. You had to basically turn two people, and they did. And so we asked the question, should anybody else turn face or heel? And Brandon said maybe Drew McIntyre turn on Dolph. So I don't know if that means heel turn or face turn, but depending, we'll get into our picks later. I think that depends too, because Drew is going to be the guy that is going to be up there fighting Braun or Brock. Keep it the big men.
Yeah, like you said, I wish I could, since I haven't really watched much SmackDown or Raw, I wish I could intervene here and help you out with who should turn. So I know that, I would agree with Brandon. I definitely would, and think that, I think it's going to happen. McIntyre's going to have to turn on him eventually. But if he turns on him, that make him face, right, and keep Dolph as a heel?
Right.
Or will they turn on that? I mean, because I think you got to keep Becky as a heel because she's getting that face reaction anyways, so you're not going to change any of that. Like I said, this isn't really a turn, but I like pushing that Shayna Baszler or whatever her name is to fight Ronda maybe not Charlotte and Ronda. You go you push her as just a major heel and get her on the show and push, because you got to think of it, she's destroying everybody, and really the only person, she hasn't beaten Becky, Charlotte obviously, but they're on SmackDown. So if you bring this other chick, the Shayna Baszler or whatever, to Raw, I think that would make a great, it'd be a great story. Someone who could beat her after she's been beating everybody over and over again. So
yeah,
maybe
I think that put her at like 24-0 or something like that, Ronda.
Yep.
All right, so Jeremy gave us In Your House Canadian Stampede. So let's talk about some of this. New Blackjacks fought the Godwins. It was on Free for All, so it was not on the show. The Godwins won that match. What'd you think of Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Mankind?
I loved it. I thought that was an excellent match. I thought it was a great way to start off the show. That was one of the nasty bumps. I mean, Mankind's taken a whole bunch of nasty bumps, but the one where he does the backdrop off or on the mat onto the stairs, his leg. Did you see that? It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And and they're selling it well, saying that he broke his leg, but I mean, it really looked like he broke his leg. It looked like he messed it up, and I think he was hobbling for a lot of that match. So he definitely hurt it at some point in there. But wow, I thought it was a good match. China involved, I thought that was good. But yeah, Mankind just typical, getting his ass whipped in that match, and I thought it was a good way to start the show.
Brandon said, great match, 4.5 stars. Every time these guys have a match, it's great. Loved how it was a double count out, and they kept fighting into the next match and so on. I loved, and Brandon and I talked about this on the phone earlier, that I love the opening promo of Hunter Hearst Helmsley, born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and then Jerry Lawler asked, I don't know if you caught this, he asked, has Hunter Hearst Helmsley ever tried to buy WWE? Fast forward 21 years later, he did not have to buy it. He just had to sleep with the boss's daughter.
And marry her and have some kids and be one of the biggest stars ever. But also, I guess I should, because I noted this and I forgot to say it. To start the show, Jerry the King Lawler's hat. Oh my God. That is the funniest thing ever, because they're all wearing cowboy hats, and he has this oversized black cowboy hat, and he can't even see.
Right.
He's like looking up from the camera. It's just fantastic.
And Brandon mentioned this was one of the first times he has seen Vince call a match.
Does he not watch old?
I mean, I guess he paid attention this time, because he's like, I'm not used to seeing that with Vince, and we are, because we watch old school. I grew up, watching earlier than that, so I was used to Vince being, the face and Lawler being the heel when they're calling matches.
Brandon, why have you not watched like every WrestleMania in a row just to get up to 13 when he stops calling matches?
Right, and then
typical Brandon.
Right, and I loved the match was okay. It was good, a good opening match. I do like that it was a double count out and they fought, all the way into the parking lot. For me, it didn't live up to their King of the Ring match.
Yeah, they had to follow that, and that was a really good match.
It's usually hard to follow, when you have a great match, it's hard to follow it. But other than that, it was pretty good. They fought all over the arena, and then, like we said, the next match started, and it was Taka Michinoku and the Great Suzuki. What'd you think of that?
Like I said, sorry, jeez, I need some more coffee this morning. I'm yawning. It was an okay match, and that's actually probably how I thought of the match. A yawn, it was okay. I think that was Taka's first fight or first match in the WWF, is what they said. I'm pretty sure. The Great Sasuke had no idea who that was. He ended up getting the win, but it was okay. I mean, I wasn't a fan. But bringing in Taka, you would think that they would let him win. Obviously, he had a decent run as light heavyweight champ. But if that's going to be your first match in, JR talked him up, and then he ends up losing. A little bit odd, in my opinion.
Right. And Brandon said, good match, 3 stars. Not much here because I don't remember these guys much. I do remember Taka and Kaientai, though. So, I don't know if you remember that.
Choppy, pee-pee.
Yeah. And I said same thing. Decent match. They cut back to the guys fighting outside in the parking lot. They promoted with Vader and Doc Hendricks and Paul Bearer with no makeup, which I have to say, Paul Bearer with no makeup is creepier than Paul Bearer with makeup.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Paul Bearer is a great heel manager. He's a great manager in general, probably top 3, I would imagine. But a great heel manager. And I think that, without the makeup, doing his whole, let's see, he was Vader's at the time, right? And he was saying that this was the whole Kane was coming sort of thing, right? He killed your brother, all this and that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so without the makeup is really odd. I think it makes his face look more fat. Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
I'd like to hear Brandon's opinion on that when he listens to this, see if it makes his face look more fat.
So the next one, Vader and Undertaker, Heavyweight Championship. He said, again, great match. Totally forgot Paul Bearer was with Vader. 4.5 stars.
Yep, I agree with him. Besides the whole Paul Bearer with Vader thing, I knew that, but Brandon's just a slacker and doesn't watch this old. So we're gonna have to start pulling more old stuff for Brandon so he can listen to that. Maybe that'll be our next few. But it was a good match. It fit. It was a good story at the time. They kept pulling the whole Kane thing, and Undertaker obviously getting the wind at the end. The Vader was still a monster at this time. I mean, he was still very much in his prime and still a really good athlete. I thought they put on one hell of a match in this one as well. Very, very underrated match. Kind of gets looked over on this card.
I agree. And chokes. So how he had to win, Undertaker, choke slam from the second rope, then a choke slam again, then in the tombstone.
Yep.
And like you said, Vader, man, what he was able to do, being that big of a guy, the moonsault and everything else, he was just fun. Like, Vader was a fun guy to watch.
Like I said, he is, I mean, you would agree with me, right? He's probably one of the more underrated wrestlers of all time that
absolutely
people don't really think about. But, I mean, he was, 350 pounds, 375,
Big Van
doing
Vader.
moonsaults? I mean, it's insane. And he played, football at Colorado, I think. He was a great athlete. Might have went pro. I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, phenomenal. Very, very underrated.
Right. And he played, you said where? Sorry.
Colorado. He was Colorado Buffalo. I don't know if he played in the pros or not.
Well, I'm going to get into that a little later because we were reminded of things. Next, we had the main. It was a short pay-per-view, hour and a half.
Yep.
Hart Foundation, Brett Owen, Jim Neidhart, British Bulldog, Brian Pillman versus Ken Shamrock, Goldust, Legion of Doom, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. What a fun match, and like we said, with the faces coming out that are actually heels, and then the heels coming out as faces because they're in Canada.
Yep. This is the whole first off, it starts Austin early getting in. This is Austin's big push, and there's 5 of the Hart Foundation doing the promo in the locker room, and Austin comes and has to get pulled back, which is pretty fun to start that off. But this is when Stone Cold was feuding with Bret Hart, and I mean was just hot as hot could be at the time, was getting pops everywhere, and this crowd you saw as he came out, it was a half and half. He got more boos than pops, which was probably the first time, and the Hart Foundation obviously came out, and everyone popped for them. Like you said, huge. They're all from Calgary. I think didn't they go with Stu Hart, and I think like Calgary's prime minister or mayor or whatever the hell they have up there.
Yeah, whatever they call it.
Whatever
and
he was.
The mom, what is it, Martha?
Yeah.
And Stu, they were there. It was in Calgary.
Yep.
And they had the whole Stampede thing.
Yep,
Canadian
that was
Stampede.
Yeah. They went over how
the Calgary Stampede.
Yep, how Bret Hart had, they went for his autograph signing, and he had, they said it was a mile long, and he signed every autograph, which is cool. It's his hometown. He wouldn't do that anywhere else. But
that's like Cena now. Cena he just had a book come out, like a children's book. And Stat Guy, can you check that out? What the name of the book is? Cena just had it. It's a kid's book. It's like a monster truck. What's his name? Greaseball or grease something. And so he was
Gravedigger.
Yeah, he was in Barnes and Noble and all these. Line for days. And he said, and this is what I respect about John, is all he said was, "I will be here and sign everything until everybody is through that line."
Yeah, and that's all.
That's John.
He does. You're right. He does that. All the time. Obviously, he's the top Make-A-Wish guy by a landslide.
mile, yeah.
He does everything. He's a great guy. So, it doesn't surprise me.
What do we got?
So John Cena's book, Elbow Grease.
Elbow grease.
Elbow grease.
And
Yeah.
it does have a monster truck on the front.
Yeah, that's
Some
the name of the
sort.
monster. Elbow grease is the name of the monster truck.
There you go.
So it's all about, never give up, the whole John Cena mantra. That's what it is. So with this match, Stu and Helen Hart at ringside, all I could think of is Jerry ripping on Stu like he always does.
It's amazing.
Yes. And the heat on Stone Cold was great, flipping the bird to everyone as usual. They popped for everybody on Team Canada. I looked at Diana Hart-Smith, and I was like, she could have been a diva. Like maybe not a diva, but a manager, like your Marlena's and your Miss Elizabeth, but she would have been just a quiet, shy type.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think she's very attractive. I don't know.
She's okay.
The whole Hart family is just blah.
Did you notice that Stu was always looking at the camera, smiling? Creeped me out.
No, I didn't, but I mean, he is like an
He-
old wrestling promoter, so he probably knew exactly where it was going and everything as they went.
Well, you know what it reminded me of, though?
The Crypt Keeper.
Mr. Herbert from Family Guy. Want to go to the Heart Dungeon? I give you a popsicle.
Yep, just him whistling.
Yep, but this also reminded me why Owen was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And the Slammy Awards, coming out with those, and still Brandon, the King of Hearts, Owen Hart, screw Bret Hart, Bret
Yep.
screwed Bret.
Agreed.
The match. So fun fact: the match ended a long feud with Stone Cold and Bret, and Stone Cold started feuding with Owen the next night by attacking him when he was singing the national anthem for Canada.
Yep.
And of course, this led to their
Next
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view.
Yep, the botched pile driver broke his neck and left him partially paralyzed, and he didn't have to kiss Owen's ass because he basically laid down so he could cover him. He was
Yep.
done for, we know. And my favorite thing, and I need to get this shirt somehow.
Owen
sometime.
316 said,
I just broke your neck. And
Yeah,
I just got
yeah.
I got my WWE Slam crate today. Oh, it's sitting right there. I got to show you the shirt I got in it. I'll save it to show you. I'll pull it out here when you start talking. But you want to tell us a little bit about the match, what happened, what you thought?
Yeah, I mean, the match was great. Obviously, I think it started off with Bret and Austin as they went. I mean, it was a good match. I don't know how long it went, but it had to go probably for like 40 minutes, it felt like. I mean, it took forever. Everyone got in. Everyone got their stuff going. I love it. That's a Ric Flair woo shirt. That's the old WWF. That's old school WWF logo
Can I
right
have
there.
that?
That's
No.
awesome.
Why?
This is my Slam crate, man. Buy the Slam crate. Go to lootcrate.com, get the WWE Slam crate.
There you go.
There you go.
Get the Slam
They're
crate.
probably sold out.
But what if I want that just Ric Flair shirt?
No.
Buy
I
it.
can't just get it.
You get, and these come every month. This one's Ultimate Warrior.
What
Last
is it?
month was Alexa Bliss. It's just like a figure.
Bobblehead?
Yep. Well, it's not a bobblehead. It's an actual ring figure. It comes with a partial
Oh,
ring.
okay.
And we've had like Undertaker, Stone Cold, Rock, Alexa, Warrior. It's had everybody. Triple H.
Okay, cool.
I've gotten every one of these since they started with Loot Crate.
So do you have a shelf with them all displayed in the house anywhere?
No, you can see a lot of my boxes are right here. The rest are in storage.
Oh, I didn't know if they were.
No,
full or
because
if they were
we rent
empty.
here, and eventually when we decide if we move or if we stay here for a while and do our show, like I got to ask ex-wife, hey, I can put some of our stuff up, but I don't really want to do it when it's not mine. But we'll see. So like if I get closer to where I want to be and have like our man cave area, then yeah, all my wrestling shit's going up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should talk to ex-wife and see if we can make the good old ex-wife's garage the man cave.
We could. We pay rent.
Yeah, that is true. If we pay rent, I feel like this is ours, right? That's how that works when you pay rent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
You just can't like paint and shit.
No, that's okay though.
So, anyways, with the match, as we talked, they all got all the Hart Foundation got popped. Pillman came out first, Anvil came out next, then you had Bulldog after that, Owen, and then Bret obviously got the biggest pop of all of them. The team, I guess USA, as you could say it at the time, Austin, obviously got big heat. LOD, which gets the LOD pop, did not. They got booed as well. Shamrock probably got the most heat with Gold Dust as well. They both got some pretty good heat. But like I said, all around good match. There's a lot of action in this, so it's hard to go over, but it was a fantastic match. I don't know what the time was on it, like I was saying earlier, but it had to be 35 to 40 minutes. Just all around, everyone beating everybody up. Owen ended up getting hurt from Austin hitting his leg against the ring post, and then ended up going to the back, which if you saw one of the other Hart brothers, I don't know which one it is because there's 90 million of them, threw beer at Austin. Did you see that? From over the railing, was throwing beer at him and was trying to grab him. And I felt like it was story, but at the same time I didn't. Like, it was really odd, but that seemed like a total Hart thing to do because, they're just I don't know. I just don't like them as a family. Besides Owen, all the other ones, I mean, those older brothers, not a big fan of. And then Austin got hurt, went to the back. They started fighting through that. And then, I don't even know. How did it end? I'm not even going to lie. Was it, did Brett give the shirt? No, someone got pinned. I think Owen pinned like Austin or something, I think, in the ring. I don't exactly remember. You look it up right now. But it was good. After that, then Austin comes back, ends up beating the crap out of everybody, gets thrown out, everyone gets beat up, and then like the whole Hart Foundation, all the family and everything comes into the ring. I thought it was it was a lame ending to me, obviously, because I'd be rooting for Austin and that team to win, but then you get all of them in the ring, and it's just like the hometown thing, and Stu comes in, and Helen comes in, and all the Harts, all the kids. The cool thing is that when you see the kids, Natty's in there, Tyson, those kids, the ones who are growing up wrestlers now, you can see in the ring as well. So I think that's pretty cool. But, decent, like you said, I thought it was a pretty good show. That match was awesome, and I told Brandon, I think before, just the heat of that match is insane. The crowd's pretty good, but I mean, that crowd starts stomping in wherever the hell they were at in the Saddle Dome of Calgary. I mean, there was, I think, like 12,000 people in there, and it was wild. The cameras were shaking from them stomping. Like, it was insane. Something like you've never seen before. So I think that's why it was great to cover this. And I know that Jeremy just wanted us to cover the last match, but the whole card I think was pretty good in my opinion. I mean, the whole card I'd give like probably 3.5, being just a short pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I agree. The one thing I didn't like is, all the guys were wearing their stuff, the announcers. It was like Texas, Canada, because of how they looked.
Yeah, it was. It was a Stampede look, but they had the hats, and it was odd. It was really weird. But like I said, Jerry Lawler's hat was just so funny. It was awesome.
Yes, and so Brandon, what he had said with this, you guys were right. This was a great pay-per-view. This match was awesome. The Hart family invading the ring after. All in all, this was a great match. 5 stars. Crazy to think Pillman was gone 3 months later.
Yeah.
Just to think about that. 3 months later, he was gone. And, the screw job came after, 5 months later? The screw job? Because this was, July?
Yeah, so 4 months later. Yeah. It's crazy to think. You're right. A month later, Austin breaks his neck. Pillman kills himself, or ODs. You have the screw job, so Brett's gone after that. Owen dies 2 years later. Anvil obviously just passed away. And then you got, obviously, Goldust is still going. Hawk died. OD, Animal's still around. And then, Shamrock is still getting his ass whipped in the UFC. So,
right.
At like 52 years old. But yeah, it's crazy to see where all of that goes. And it's not that how fast time goes, but it's insane to see that, yeah, you're right. Pillman, 2 months later, he's gone. And 3 months later, Brett's out of the WWF, something you wouldn't ever think you'd see.
Owen dies 2 years later.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It's crazy, but, that's how life works sometimes.
Right.
And we go from there.
Right. And so next, let's jump to Justin on the Twitter before we go into Crown Jewel. Similar to the Crown Jewel controversy, what are the biggest political controversies that wrestling has been involved with? So what's going on here is there has been a murder in the consulate, and the Saudi Arabian government admitted to it. And so it's interesting. A lot of people don't want Crown Jewel to happen. John Cena is not participating in Crown Jewel, and Bobby Lashley is filling in. At the moment, I haven't checked to see if Daniel Bryan is still fighting.
He's out. He's out.
Is he?
Yep.
So, we won't know because we are not watching. So if he didn't make the flight or he didn't do this, I turned off all spoilers, so I don't know what happened. I'm not going to watch it until tonight. I wanted to get our predictions in. I'm assuming Brandon sent me his picks a while back. He sent them to me on Thursday, so his are good, and we're going to make ours now. So it's interesting after we do the question here.
Right. Well, like I said, as of Tuesday Night SmackDown, he wasn't supposed to be on. He said he wasn't going to. They also said, which is kind of shocking, they said Renee Young's going to join the broadcast team. So we'll see if she's there broadcasting. I don't know if she will be or not because she, they're whatever against women there, don't have women's rights, whatever in Saudi Arabia.
And there's no women matches on the card.
Yep, none of that either. Which, I mean, they just did have a big women's pay-per-view, so that also
True.
would be a reason why. And, you can't travel week to week to do that. Could, but probably not. So, we'll see how that turns out. Just like you said, we'll see. I didn't watch it either last night. I don't, I was going to wait till after the show to see so we could kind of preview it now. But we can certainly go from there and see what we got. So if you want to get into
well, not yet. What other political things? We got to answer Justin on the Twitter. What other political things involved essentially with wrestling, similar to Crown Jewel, were controversies that wrestling was involved with? So I'll just give you Brandon's real quick if he did give us anything, and he probably didn't because that's how Brandon is. He forgets to answer some of these questions.
Yep.
And he didn't answer. So
okay. Shocking.
Shocking. I'll give mine then. So the steroid scandal, that was a big deal. Political, obviously political involvement. Another one, the deaths of wrestlers, that was a big deal. Kind of ties in with steroids and some other things going on. And then right now I think a big one is for a lot of people, Linda ran for Senate, but now she's the Small Business Administration under
Trump.
So that's a big problem for people that have stuff against Trump. So that's what I had on my list.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest one is Jesse Ventura, obviously, being governor of Minnesota. But he also, wanted to run for president. He did use the WWE, WWF a lot to push for that. And I know that him and Vince have a rocky relationship. That was the one that really came to my head. I knew there were other things. The steroid scandal was the first thing I thought of. I figured that would come up. But yeah, since we didn't mention that, definitely Jesse Ventura. That's probably the biggest one on there. You could go back and say Trump, but he wasn't in politics at the time when he was on WrestleMania, so you really can't do that. Obviously, now looking back, you can, but he wasn't into presidency, into politics at all at that time, so that's nothing that we would do. So
yeah,
really,
no, Trump, no, not now, but with Linda being Small Business Administration, a lot of people have problems with it because Vince McMahon is big business, and she's Small Business Administration. So, but you got to remind people, they just like Walmart, it started as a small business.
Yeah,
Sam Walton.
Nothing starts as a monster conglomerate.
And,
you have to build your way up.
McDonald's, have you seen the movie The Founder?
Very good movie.
Yes, with Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc.
I have not. No.
Very good, and talks about the McDonald's brothers and what they had, and it really puts it in perspective for you what Ray Kroc did to get that going, because he was going around selling milkshake machines, and he goes into McDonald's and checks out like their thing, and he's like, "This is unreal," and just made it bigger, franchised it out, and made it huge.
And now their ice cream machines don't work ever,
which is
it makes
hysterical.
no sense.
Which is,
you would think that's what they build off of.
Which, but I
Damn
find
McDonald's.
Damn McDonald's, I find you hilarious. So for Crown Jewel, what about you, Jake? You got anything? Because I know you kind of sit back on this show.
See, I don't have anything. I know I just asked you a question, but
What'd you ask?
So Triple H, is that Vince McMahon's son-in-law?
Yes.
From what I just saw online.
What you just saw? You just saw that?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's been his son-in-law for a long time.
I had no
They
idea.
have daughters like 12, 10, and 8.
So
Triple H and Stephanie.
Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah,
That's why
he
I
is
saw that.
on screen. He's the chief operating officer, and Stephanie's something else, but she's the chief branding officer. Behind the scenes, and he doesn't really have a title yet. He's an executive. He will be. Him and Stephanie will take over eventually. He runs NXT. He's going to be Vince. He's going to be the guy in Gorilla. He's going to be the one making all the calls. He is just all the talent he's pulled over. And I get sick all the time of people talking about Triple H doesn't put people over. Shut up. He puts everybody over now. Especially
everybody in NXT. That's
right.
all he does is put people over.
And like Daniel Bryan,
I agree.
WrestleMania 30, put him over, to get him into the main match.
Orton, plenty of times.
Batista.
I mean, that's ridiculous to say.
Garbage. And so let's get right into. Go ahead. You got something else?
I just got a fun fact for you. The McMahon family holds approximately 70% of WWE's equity and 96% of their voting power.
Yeah, so it's because they are a publicly traded company.
Yep.
So, that's what Vince, what did he do? He cashed in $100 million to get XFL started again of his stock. So, he knows what he's doing. He's worth, what did we say, 2.3 or 4 billion?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Check it. See if it's gone up, Jake. Vince McMahon net worth now. And while you do that, let's get into Crown Jewel. So not many matches. Oh, he's got it already. Go ahead.
No, I don't have it already. I just wanted to be the one to say John Cena is out for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, we said that 20 minutes ago.
I was just saying it.
I thought we said that last week too.
Yeah, it's okay, Jake. Stat guy's a little late. He's late like usual.
If you go back to State Farm, it would probably be best.
Yeah.
I know that you say there's not a lot, but I'm actually looking up like the card right now, the most recent, without spoilers. This was as of yesterday before, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches now.
Well, yeah, there's 4 that are for the. Do they actually have the matchups? I haven't looked.
Yeah, well, they have 11 on here, but 3 of them are TBD because it's the those are the semifinals. That would be why they're TBD. So we haven't even gotten to the World Cup singles or the.
Do we know who's fighting who in the World Cup?
Yes,
Oh,
I have
we
it.
do.
I have it right here.
And Brandon unfortunately doesn't have it. You know what? While you're doing this, I'm going to try to call Brandon. We'll see if he answers. I don't know if he's going to answer because, he's probably enjoying studying and drinking his pumpkin spice.
He is probably nose deep in some pumpkin spice coffee right now.
Yeah, he probably is. And Stat Guy, I see you looking at us. What do you got, buddy?
See, you wanted to know Vince McMahon's net worth. It is now $2.7 billion.
So it's 0.4 billion higher.
Yeah, so
Pretty solid.
It's
only $400 million.
I mean, yeah, it's only $400 million.
Someone in the lottery
So,
has more than that.
Yeah, so he's making bank still. I mean,
Easily.
Hello.
Dude, you're up on a Saturday morning. I love it. We had to call you for some picks because, there's some matches that were actually announced that we don't know. Bear hopefully didn't cheat when he pulled up what the matches are. But we got to get your picks because we actually know some matches now. Do you have time for us, or are you still studying?
Sure, I guess I can step away for a little bit.
Thanks. Step away from that pumpkin spice.
Yes. All right. So, Bear, I'll let you read the card, those preliminary matches, so we can get Brandon back to studying.
Okay, so the quarterfinal match, first one for the Raw bracket, Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley.
What do you got, Brandon?
Let's go Seth Rollins.
Second match, Raw bracket as well, Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler.
So, what am I picking these all at once, or are we going around?
Yeah, so we can hang up with you and then finish our picks. Jesus.
All right, well, I'd love to see, Kurt Angle win, but I think it's going to be Dolph. I don't think Kurt Angle can go 3 more matches after that.
Okay. For the SmackDown, their first match will be Jeff Hardy versus The Miz.
Well, I picked The Miz to win it, so Miz.
And Mysterio and Orton is the other one.
I'd love to see Mysterio win, but I think it's going to be Orton.
Okay, so you pick The Miz, so we'll take The Miz over Orton. And then Lashley. Who'd you pick? Angle or Ziggler? I forgot.
No, I picked Seth.
He picked Seth over Lashley.
And then
Yeah.
Angle or Ziggler? Because I didn't write those
It's
down.
Dolph.
Okay, so Seth versus Dolph.
Seth.
And then Seth versus The Miz. You're taking The Miz over everything?
Yep, taking The Miz.
All right. I think that's all we need from you. We're going to get back to our picks now since we know yours, so I can pick everything opposite.
Oh, and real quick, since you didn't answer Justin on the Twitter, what political things do you see as being controversial? You did not answer that question.
Oh. It's too early for this. I don't know. I mean, I think the whole thing that that happened yesterday, I think it was definitely one of those controversial things. But I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, they still did the show, so.
Yeah, I
don't-
it's okay that they did the show yesterday. I guess that could be controversial, but he's saying other than Crown Jewel and the controversy
know.
surrounding it. But I guess you're right, because he was talking more about the murder that happened and took place, and you're talking about just the event in general.
Well, yeah, because you had all those politicians all week, saying, cancel the show, but money influences a lot of things, and that was a lot of money that they were going to make off of that, and they kept on saying it's a global event. So, but yeah, they went on with the show. But go back to your question.
Jeez. You're right on the mic.
Sorry, I had to drink that drink of coffee. Yeah, I can't think of anything really off the top of my head that was really controversial. Unless I'm missing something. Am I missing something?
Well, we talked about the steroid scandal, the wrestlers dying early, Linda McMahon being in Trump's cabinet.
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah. I mean, those are those are good. I didn't even think about most of those. So yeah, Linda McMahon being in Trump's cabinet. I mean, definitely another influence towards them having the show. But yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being our
No
first.
problem.
Thank you for being our first call-in for the show. Actually, we called you. So
Absolutely.
Long time listener, first time caller.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
so you didn't miss this episode. You actually were in an episode, so you've only missed 3. So that means you'll only miss 5 unless we call you next Saturday as well for the show. We'll see.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, I got to get back to my coffee's getting cold. So
Wildcat up.
Wildcat up.
okay, we'll see.
All right. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you
Go Irish.
later.
See ya.
What a loser. What a schmuck. What a schmuck.
All right, so we can get into our picks. So you had, give me that again. You had Lashley and Seth.
Yes, Lashley and Seth.
Seth.
Okay.
What do you got?
I am going to take Seth as well. I mean, he was supposed to fight Cena, right?
Well, yeah, Cena. So it probably would have been Cena and Seth,
Yeah. Now,
or it would have been different matches.
give me Seth.
All right, next.
Oh, I thought Jake not gonna pick.
Yeah.
Just gonna
Am I
leave him up.
picking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go.
He didn't even know who these people are.
Yeah, I don't give.
So?
I don't care. I went 4-3 just as good as you did last week. So
Gotcha.
You know,
You gotcha
what a
there.
dick.
I'm gonna go opposite of what you guys picked.
Okay, so you're on Lashley.
I'm going Lashley.
You know what Bobby Lashley looks like?
You.
Completely wrong.
Bobby Lashley is a large black man. Not anything like Gary.
Absolutely not. So good call.
Well.
Like if you look at me, you think of the Big Show. Go next.
Yeah, right.
Angle versus Ziggler.
Dolph.
Yeah, I am with you there, young Dolph.
I agree.
Hardy. Ooh, that was yummy.
Hardy.
Hardy versus The Miz.
Jake?
I'm gonna go see The Miz sounds cooler. So you know what? I'm gonna go with The Miz.
I'm also taking The Miz.
The Miz.
And Mysterio and Orton.
Orton.
Mysterio.
I am also gonna go Mysterio. Actually, I think he pulls the upset on old Handsy.
So what happens if some of our people are wrong in the next? So you got to get the winner right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they fight. You just got to get the winner. Got
That's
it.
right.
All right. Next.
So next round. Hold on a second.
So we got Dolph and Seth.
So we
all have Dolph and Seth. Well, no,
No,
he has
Jake will
Bobby. Hey, Bobby Lashley or Dolph?
I don't know either. So let's go Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
Bear.
I am gonna take Seth as well, just like Brandon.
Same here.
Okay.
I'm gonna win.
Probably not. And then
Bobby's
all of
filling
us
in for Cena.
have Miz, Gary, Miz, and Orton,
Miz.
and Brandon took the Miz as well. Jake, we have Miz versus Mysterio. I'm gonna take the Miz.
Mysterio or The Miz? Let's go Miz.
All right.
So Jake's championship is
Lashley versus Miz.
2 heels.
So do I gotta pick that?
Yeah.
Championship. Ooh.
Well, it's just a winner of
Let's
World
go.
Cup.
Let's go The Miz.
Miz. Okay. I want to pick the Miz, but I'm going to go Rollins here. I think that Rollins will beat the Miz, so Rollins over the Miz.
I think that I'm going to take the Miz. One of 2 things are going to happen here, I think. Either Dean's attacking Seth, either during the match to cost him or after the match. So, but I'm going to stick with Miz. Miz wins World Cup. But like you said, this is a face thing typically, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But we all have Miz and Seth. I think it makes for a great match, too. That will be.
Also, since Daniel Bryan is out, Samoa Joe is filling in WWE title match against Styles.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I would imagine where we're all going to go here on this.
AJ?
Yeah, I would. Did Brandon have a pick on that when it was
AJ.
Daniel Bryan? Okay, so I'm just gonna write AJ down for you, Jake.
Yeah, let's do
Just
that.
I'll give you. It'll be a free win.
All right, let's do that.
All right, next.
Next, the Bar with the Big Show versus New Day.
All right, I'm gonna go first right here. I'm gonna go the Big Show.
Well, he's not fighting.
Oh, it's just the Big Show.
No, it's the Bar. The Bar is Cesaro and Sheamus. They are the champions. They won the titles off of New Day with Big Show's help.
Okay. Let's go Zorro.
Okay, so the Bar.
The Bar.
I'm
Cesaro.
The Bar.
Cesaro.
Whatever.
Say it with me. Cesaro.
Cesaro.
And Sheamus.
Sheamus.
There we go.
I'm also gonna go with the Bar.
The Bar. And Brandon also has the Bar.
Okay.
Miller Lite.
Yummy.
Next.
So next is DX versus the Brothers of Destruction.
Let's go the Brothers of Destruction.
Do you know who the Brothers of Destruction are?
Hell no.
Kane and Undertaker.
Oh, all right.
You know,
I want that.
you know who DX is?
No.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Oh shit.
Shawn Michaels' first match back in 8 years.
I already wrote down you on Brothers of Destruction in pencil, so it's gonna be hard to change.
I mean, you can erase the pencil. It's
Yeah,
not
the
that hard
eraser's
to
almost
erase.
gone.
I mean, I see it right now. It's completely.
Why are you looking at my
It's
eraser,
like
bro?
half full. So I see it. I'm gonna change it actually.
Oh,
Triple
so
H.
much erasing. All right.
Oh, I just got your text. I just looked at it. Sorry.
I'm going with DX.
DX.
Brandon DX as well.
Yep.
Okay, so far, besides the World Cup, we all have the same picks.
Right.
And then your singles match for the vacant Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman.
What do you got, Jake?
I'm gonna go with Brock Lesnar.
Well, be prepared to be under 500.
Yep, Strowman, I think, finally wins that belt. So I'm going to go Strowman here.
Strowman. Brandon has Strowman.
Okay. So Jake's the only one on Brock.
So wait a minute.
Brock should win.
Did Brandon and I agree the whole way through? Damn it.
Yeah, you're screwed.
I'm going
Sorry.
under 500.
Yes, you
But
are.
you agreed all the way through except for Mysterio.
And Rollins, I have beating the Miz.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
All right. So, Brandon, thanks for the call in so we can get the actual picks up. So how many matches we got there that we picked?
So there's going to be, we have, like you said, there's 8 matches, and then you got to, so there's going to be 11 matches total.
Oh, that's good. That'll change the records up pretty good. Well, barely. I mean,
Yeah, a
either
little
you and I
bit.
are going to, we might mix. We might go 1-1 and still stay tied. One of us may go 2 over the other, or we may just lose.
Yep.
So we'll see.
We'll find out.
All right, next we got the fun, of course, as always, Jason debate. This is fun. So he mentioned, to be entertained, I do not need to see wrestlers bounced off the concrete or metal floor, dropped in the ring apron area, speared through the LED boards, and so on. At Evolution, when Becky was taking the kendo sticks to Charlotte, he was thinking that it had to be gimmicked somehow. Then the welts started showing up on Charlotte's back. What are our thoughts on these high-risk moves and weapon shots based on establishing or creating entertainment?
I'm gonna go right here. So I'm not the big wrestling fan here, but see, I think that's a good. I like that. I think you got to bring a little reality into the sport. Can't be all just for show. I think that's nice. I mean, you can't fake everything. You gotta.
Yeah, dude, let's just hit each other with kendo sticks. That would suck.
I mean,
wouldn't like it.
you
Let's
gotta
just-
add some realism into it. You
we
gotta
could
think
have
about that.
We could have a ladder match with Jake. It'd be terrible because he could just reach the damn belt without
Yeah.
the ladder.
Who needs a ladder? I mean, you're 6'6". Who needs a ladder? I can just.
Oh, you were 6'5" last week. Did you grow?
I mean, with shoes on, I'm 6'6". That adds an inch. You got to think about shoes without 6'6".
So are you?
6'5".
So we have a friend who is a twin who is like 6'10" or 6'8".
6'8".
Oh, he's 6'10" with the fro when he had the fro.
Yep.
So 6'8", but he. How would you rate his basketball skills?
He couldn't dunk. He's 6'8".
What?
Could you dunk?
I've been able to dunk since.
I mean, he can ball, but I'm sure he could dunk.
And now
It's
that he's
just not
bigger,
now that
he
he's
can
old.
box out. He could never box out. Now he can.
Oh
He's a
yeah,
big
he's,
dude.
he's put on some mass. That's for sure.
Yes, he has.
See, I've been able to dunk since about sophomore year in high school.
So were you better at basketball or baseball? We've talked about this.
See, basketball I think would have been the better way for me to go. I think I was better at baseball until I messed up my arm, my throwing arm.
'Cause you're a
I mean,
lefty.
I'm a lefty, and I throw sidearm. It's not good for your arm, but
Right.
I truthfully, baseball, basketball. I was good at basketball. I was good at baseball, but I liked lacrosse the most.
What was your hardest fastball?
It was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in the 80s when I was in like freshman,
I was
sophomore
like 80.
year.
I think it was like 86 or 87.
Yes,
is the
like
best I got.
What do you think my fastest fastball was?
75,
Nope.
26,
Nope.
82.
Nope.
75.
I wasn't a pitcher. I was a third baseman, so I didn't really pitch.
Yeah,
Well,
so
but you
like-
still had to throw across the
Yeah, you
diamond.
still it's 70 miles an hour.
69.
All right.
You should have guessed that right off the bat. Is that legit though?
I have no idea how
Oh, okay.
fast. No, I was a terrible pitcher. I had to pitch once in Little League, and I think I struck out one guy and probably walked about four of them. Yeah, no. I could throw across a diamond. I was very accurate. I like playing outfield too because I could throw a frozen rope, but I couldn't
Right.
pitch. It makes no sense.
That's like Lance's twin, Kenny. He, like the other pitchers we had, throw fast.
Well, Kenny ate some feast back in the day.
They threw fast, and
Yeah.
when Kenny would come on the mound, he'd strike people out because it was like watching El Duque throw an ephus pitch.
Yeah.
He threw a lot slower than those guys.
Same
They were
curveball
like,
as
what
like
the hell?
58.
He had a great curveball though.
Yeah.
It was good.
Here, I got a nice story for you. Just
Go ahead.
a little off topic, but baseball related. So, fifth grade baseball. I hated my coach so bad. He had no idea he had nothing, like no knowledge of baseball. He knew nothing about baseball. I remember fifth grade playing baseball, Little League in spring. I remember I went to 3 games. We lost all 3 games, and I remember after that, I told my coach I had the runs like the last 4 weeks of the baseball season. We went like 0-10. I swear to God, we went like 0-10, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to go to these anymore. Like we suck. We're not good. We're not going anywhere. Like I don't want to play.
I have the runs for 4 weeks.
I have the runs and I have diarrhea. I cannot go to these games. Our coach was horrible. It was a fun little story.
I had probably the best Little League coach, and I don't know, Gary, if you ever had. I mean, obviously you know.
Jerry?
No.
Oh.
You know who I had when I get into it, and I'll tell you who it is, but he, at the end, it was close to the end of the year. We had like 2 or 3 games left. And like I said, I'm going to tell you who it is at the end, and you'll absolutely appreciate the hell out of the story because you know this man. You respect this man. I know that for a fact. He's a great guy.
Well, I know it's not my dad. No, I respect my dad. Just kidding.
Well, your dad was never my baseball coach.
I know.
So.
I figured he might have been. You never know.
But at the end of the year, everybody who didn't get hit in the year, he lined up and beamed.
Really?
Dead serious.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
That makes you a man right there. When you're 11,
Now I'm intrigued as
10
who
years
this
old.
is.
But he was a great baseball coach. He has, this will give it away, but he has 4 sons.
Oh.
They're all gingers. Well, except one of them. Well, Bob Phillips.
Bob Phillips,
God,
yes. Respect that man.
He was my and he still remembers me to this day, and he still remembers that to this day. And obviously he's come on some harder times, unfortunately, but
Amazing man who
was
Brandon also respects.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, without Brandon here, he wouldn't know. But he was my Little League coach, which is crazy. And actually, it was funny because Dean was one of the base coaches when we played. Mark wasn't quite old enough, and I played with Eric. Eric and I graduated, so we were the same age, and Michael was a couple
Eric
years
was
younger. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit. I
Yeah.
didn't realize Eric was that old.
Yep, Eric and I graduated together. Yep, yes, sir. But Dean was always there, and it's always funny because we went to Brandon's bachelor party, and Dean was there and got to party with him. And I was like, dude, used to be my baseball coach when I was
Brandon,
11,
what was
and now
it,
we're
Brandon
getting hammered
515?
together. Yeah, Brandon 515. But yeah, no, that was one of my favorite
God,
baseball
I miss going to
stories.
church.
Because I mean, you should go. You need Jesus in your life.
I know.
As long as you make it past the stairs, you're okay. So when we played, like I said, he was a great coach, and I couldn't hit for shit. That's why I didn't make it anywhere in baseball. I was a great fielder. Actually, probably one of the best third basemen of my time, I would say. I'm dead serious.
No, I believe you.
That's about my only claim to fame is I could field and I could run because they walk. It was Little League. They walk a lot, and I was fast. So I stole a lot of bases, but I think I probably had 6 hits all year. It was bad.
6 hits, 6 for 20 with 37 walks.
Definitely
That
not
was my-
20. Probably 6 for
That
80.
was my senior year when we played the house league. We were 18-0. I was 20 for 30, and I had 35 walks. It was stupid.
Yeah, and that's the best. But I love getting walked. I just couldn't hit. Never could. I think I had a triple my last game I played in Little League, and that was about it as far as I
Dean
went.
was a third baseman too, and Dean was good. Dean was fun to play with. He was a hitter too. He was a lot of fun. Brandon, he'll talk about his 2 triples, 4 for 4, 2 triples.
I was about to say, if I played, like, if we ever played softball or we played, just like house baseball league or something, I'd definitely bat leadoff for sure. Leadoff or ninth.
Wait, I can't remember. Were you ever there when we had the pool parties, the wrestling pool parties at Brandon's?
I was there for one. I can't remember
On
when
the
that
rafts,
was.
slamming on the rafts.
Yeah.
God.
I remember we played baseball a few times back in the day. Remember we get out when we could and played a few times at Waterworks, I think,
yeah.
right?
Flooded Waterworks. I know we got to get back there and do some like floor hockey, roller hockey. I don't know
Everyone's
if
way too old now.
Yeah, but it'd be fun. Be a throwback. Well, except for Jake.
I was gonna say, what's there to say? Why can't we do a
We
little
should
beer
play
league,
some-
like beer league softball?
Well, we should do like a football game just for fun.
I'd be
Maybe around
down.
Thanksgiving we'll have the.
God, see Brandon knocking out another tooth.
Like 5-on-5, 6-on-6.
Well, we'll
like
play some
that.
football. We need to have like the. That's what we should do. Let's think about this for real. We could have the first annual Over the Line Sports Podcast Turkey Bowl.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
There you
Flag,
go.
we'll have to play flag because
Oh, of course.
people we're too old to get. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing tackle, but
No,
someone's gonna die.
We all have to go to work.
Yeah,
Gary's
so-
gonna break his collarbone again.
Oh gosh, dude, it was my collarbone. I separated my AC joint. So, but yeah,
Yeah, we-
still can throw. Still can do that. I think we should do that.
We might have to get that together. Like maybe
I'll
that.
talk to Brandon. Maybe
I
he'll
mean,
sponsor it.
Everybody's off the Friday after Thanksgiving. I mean, Black Friday, right? No
Right.
one works that day.
Right.
Gotta get Brandon up from Cincinnati. Gotta get.
Yeah, get Slow. Get some of those guys up here. That'd
Oh,
be great.
yeah.
Slow's actually fast. That's the funny thing. He's just slow up here.
Well, now I'm
Okay,
confused.
he's slow up here, but he's fast down here.
Yeah, Jake would know.
and he's quick like that.
So
Getting them cheek slapping. So, but yeah, no, that would be fun. That's something to do. But we got completely off topic.
yes, we
of
did.
wrestling.
So now let's get
That's
back
for
to
sure.
wrestling.
Hashtag pizza shop days.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's what I said. I owned that shop real quick for almost 2 years, and we lost one person, and it was slow. It was slow because he went to college.
He had to go to college.
He had to go to Cincy, and that's all
See,
we lost.
That's the thing. Everybody at that place, they loved their job. They loved their boss. They loved working with everybody there. We had a great time. We played football. We watched football at night. Me and you'd stay late. We'd watch wrestling at night.
We all watched football.
we'd stay
You-
till
were
like-
you there? You were there for the Michigan State Michigan game, weren't you? When I just went nuts when Sparty won on the punt.
Oh, yeah.
I was nuts in the shop. I was like, I just hear it because I'm like, oh, the game's over, and then you hear, missed the punt. I'm like, what? We all just stop what we're doing and look up, and it was just unreal.
Wait, speaking of that, are these the 2 TVs from the pizza shop?
Yes, they are.
That's what I thought.
Yep, they are.
That's what I thought.
You are correct. So you have seen these before. But to get back, like you said, Bear, into what was being asked, what did you think about with the women doing that? So I'll just read what Brandon said real quick. He thinks that they are good at a point. So to go back to Jason's question or debate topic was when they're taking the kendo stick to Charlotte, is this good? What are our thoughts on these high-risk moves and weapon shots based on establishing or creating entertainment? So, again, Brandon said he thinks it's good to a point. He was never that fan, actually, that wanted to see somebody die, but the thumbtacks always freaked him out. Mick Foley falling off the cage is still crazy. Chair shots to the head still make me cringe, but they were awesome.
I agree. I think nowadays we know we're not going to see it, especially with all we know about head trauma and head injuries. I know he said that, do you think they were gimmick, but he kind of said they weren't. They definitely weren't. I mean, I think that those kendo shots are real. That's why they probably hit him around there. They're muscled up. So yeah, definitely there's welts, and I guarantee that hurts like a mother. But I think that, certain matches you can definitely have them. You don't need them every time. It's not like it's ECW. ECW is fun, but it's not fun to do in every match. You definitely need a lot of, how do I want to put it? Some technical matches in there you definitely want to have. So you're right. You don't need to have, kendo sticks and tables and ladders in every match, but you do need to have them in wrestling to make certain things entertaining. There are certain feuds that need that, just like this one did. It got heated and it needed this. It needed this ending here with the tables and with the kendo sticks and the chairs, ladders, all that fun stuff. So you're right, Jason. It does not need to be in every match, but it certainly has to be in some of them. That's for sure. It can't go away altogether. I know that.
And it was good, especially for that match and with the chairs.
Yeah, they
and
made it
everything.
work.
They made it work, and they did a great job.
Yep.
I think it was good. I mean, it made that match amazing. And like we said, 5-star match. It was great to see. So next one, Ryan, can you break down the Hard Times promo from Dusty?
If you've never watched this promo, you have to. Jason and I have watched this numerous times when we were bored at work or we wanted to get motivated. But this is an absolutely phenomenal promo. I mean, he's going. This is, I think, I want to say this was after Starrcade. This is like 85 or something. I don't remember exactly when. But it's Dusty Rhodes after he got injured by Flair, and they're telling a great story. And he gives this phenomenal promo on Flair about how it's hard times, about how you know it's about the family, and you don't understand that because you don't have family, Rick, and you go out drinking all this, and I'm a country boy, and I got to take care of my kids, this and that, and you don't know, you don't know what you got till you get it, sort of thing. And Ric Flair put hard times on me, this and that. And just going in, playing the Dusty character on how he's the plumber's son and how he's just the average blue-collar man, and that's what Dusty Rhodes ever was. And I think my favorite quote of the whole thing, he goes, "There were two bad people. One was John Wayne, he's dead, brother, and I'm the other one." And I mean, that makes it, it's towards the end of that promo, and he just looks right dead in the camera, and that's what he gives, and it's absolutely amazing. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I still watch it every once in a while. It's great. It's probably my favorite promo that's not a Ric Flair promo, to be honest with you. So if you've never seen it, you need to watch the Dusty Rhodes Hard Time promo. And if that doesn't get you some goosebumps or get you motivated a little bit, I don't know what will, but absolutely phenomenal. Jason knows it's one of my favorite. That's why he brought it up. So I'm sure he'll probably watch that, and when I don't answer my phone at work, he'll send it to me, the whole 2-minute promo in a voicemail, and I have to listen to it. But I love it.
Jake, I don't know if you're aware of this, so it leads into our next thing. Do we miss pyro ring entrances? They don't do pyro anymore.
So there's no, what do you mean, fire entrances, no...
Fireworks, nothing like that,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, so they don't do that anymore?
Nope.
Really? I mean, do you know...
Saves money.
Saves money, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I see... I'm a fan of that. I think it's cool. I like it. I think it's fun for the audience. I think, I like it. I'm a fan of it. I mean, if they want to save money, they make so much money every year. I mean, they don't need to save the, couple $1,000s a year for pyrotechnics. I mean,
well, it's more than that, but yeah.
I mean, a couple thousand, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
I would think they're in the million.
I mean,
for what they do, I mean, it has to be. But I'm with you, and I'll say what Brandon said. So he does miss them. They were always fun. He still remembers when Jericho scared the crap out of him at Raw in Columbus. Bear was there for that. You still see people do the motions when they use the pyro, like Brock, who I was going to mention. It's not the same when Brock does that and comes out and pulls his arms down. There's no pyro. He still comes out and does his thing, and then it looks weird when the pyro doesn't hit. It's the same thing with Goldberg, Batista, Dudley Boys, all that. It's just weird not having it, so I miss it too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, besides the actual wrestling, I mean, the storylines and the show is what it is. It's entertainment. So when you kind of take out the fireworks that make it, just like you were saying with Brock and the Dudley Boys, I mean, a lot of people had promo. I'm not talking all the ones that are just random booms, but Kane's. I mean, Kane without that. Kane's pyro was amazing. It made it. You hear the organ play, and when's his gonna drop. With Jericho, same thing. He did I love some of them when you sit there and watch and you don't know when the pyro's gonna hit, or the surprise pyro, like I said, the one that scared the shit out of me in Columbus. I mean, there's ones where you don't expect it, and like you said, it makes it. That's the whole point. It's entertainment. We need the pyro in, so it's a little bit disappointing. I understand they want to save money, so be it. I mean, they have lights and they have everything else now, and floaty used car sales things and stuff like that, or the New Day throwing out pancakes. So I mean, there's still props and stuff, but yeah, I definitely miss pyro. That's one of the things I do miss. One of my faves.
So the next thing, do you guys think that there's too much talent for the amount of TV time allotted to WWE? It seems WWE is grouping wrestlers together in terms versus in single storyline. So Brandon just said he does. Too many wrestlers for only 2 shows. I tend to agree. There is a lot of talent. They've grouped a lot of people together because they just don't have enough time. That's why you have more, stables coming back, especially when they're bringing back people to do the things like Crown Jewel. You got HBK back. They need time, HBK and Triple H. You've got the Brothers of Destruction back, so they need TV time. And it doesn't leave enough time for, everybody else. So I tend to agree with this. Bear?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat here. There definitely is too much talent. I don't know what you got to do, but making 2 pay-per-views a month that's not an option. It's just too much. You don't have enough talent for Raw and SmackDown for 2-hour shows each. I mean, you're only getting 4 hours worth of show. So it's definitely, well, I guess Raw's 3 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. So are you saying they don't have enough talent, or they have too much?
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're saying they have too much talent. They don't have enough showtime. I'm agreeing with what it is. There's not enough time. And like I said, 2 pay-per-views a month just isn't an answer, and I don't like it because no one wants to watch it.
And they don't do it anymore.
And it's because it didn't work.
You're right.
It sucked.
You can't have it, and that's what was tough with it. And Jake, you got any thoughts on this?
Don't really have any thoughts besides from what I do know about this, I know I agree with what you guys are saying.
Tell them to bring back Sunday Night Heat.
They need to bring back Sunday Night Heat.
Great answer, Jake. Great answer.
You know, that's just the best answer.
So the follow-up to this is, do you think WWE audience, so ratings, would make the following work, all on prime time? So Monday, Raw, Tuesday, SmackDown, Wednesday, NXT, Thursday, Women's Division, Friday, Week in Review, highlight reels.
That's too much. Of course he wants Thursday to be the Women's Division, so he can. That's probably when the wife and kids are out and about, so he can sit in the basement by himself.
Or watching Grey's Anatomy or something.
I would imagine that's why he picked Thursday night for the Women's Division. That'd be my guess. But I think that's too much, to be honest with you. Especially if you do that and then you have a pay-per-view on Sunday. Like I said, Sunday Night Heat before was nice because you could get a couple dark matches in. They used to have Velocity on Saturday night. That didn't last long. Saturday night's main event.
WCW had Thunder on Thursday, and then
which is the SmackDown.
They had the Saturday night stuff too.
Yep. And I think they had, there's a couple. You had the Saturday night main event. You had other shows they do throughout the week, which is fine for random ones, but not for this. I think it would be too much, and I think the ratings would dip even more because people would be like, "Oh, I'm just going to watch Raw instead of the rest of it this week." So I don't think that would work. If you think it would, Jason, you let us know what you think. I mean, obviously that's something that you might want, but either that or let us know if you have enough pairs of sweatpants to make it through a Thursday night.
I wouldn't mind 3 shows. I mean, they already have SmackDown, they already have Raw. NXT, I would love to see more on primetime so people can actually see these guys. Right now they are on
the network, right? But that's the other thing. It's to get people to the network. That's a good marketing thing because they know that's probably their best show right now, in all honesty.
Right, and so you can do that. I think you'd get a lot more people out there knowing who these people are on NXT. Get them up to the main. They need more time, but a 3-hour Raw is just too long to begin with.
Yep.
And so, they even have to cut that back. So maybe if they went 2-2-2, I think, what did they say, that SmackDown's going back to Thursday? Is that right, or Friday? When Fox takes over?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
It's Thursday or Friday.
That makes
sense.
And
Stat Guy will check that out for us. And thanks, Jerry. And so we'll see. It'll be interesting. They need to cut Raw back to 2 hours. It's just, how do you cram that in? You got to do less in the ring, but I know you have to build a story, so it takes time. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough.
So, Jason, as always, thank you, and look forward to next week's stuff. Perfect discussion with Jeremy. Hold on. We got Jake.
So SmackDown is live on Tuesdays right now, correct?
Right.
Yep.
So it will be as of October 4th, 2019. It will be, as of March 3rd, it will be on Fox. Let's just put it that way. It'll be on Fox on Friday. Let's put it that way.
Okay, Friday. That's what we were looking for.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Thank you.
You're like, appreciate it. So Jeremy's perfect discussion: factions and stables. All-time favorite faction or stable, and what iteration of it? He said, not the Blue World Order for him. Original DX with HBK, Triple H, Chyna, and Rude. HBK knew he was untouchable at the time and could get away with doing anything, so he pushed the limits quite a bit.
That was Brandon?
No, that was Jeremy. That was
Okay,
Jeremy's
good.
actual stuff.
Good.
Brandon had honorable mention. I like his honorable mention, though.
God, of course he had an honorable mention.
Nation of Domination.
They should. Which one? There was 90 million of them.
Yeah, probably the
Owen?
original. With Owen. You're right.
Without Rock? With Rock?
I'll just...
Because original wasn't with Rock.
yeah, I know, with Rocky Maivia. 3, he's got Ministry of Darkness. 2...
It was all-time favorite, not top 76, Brandon. Learn how to read.
2, Ministry of
Chip
Darkness.
can't even read.
Or 3, Ministry of Darkness. 2, Heart Foundation. 1, DX.
Of course he had the Heart Foundation.
Right.
What a loser. I don't have a top 3 because I know how to read.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite would be the Four Horsemen.
Yep.
And we're talking probably, though, I like...
What do you got? Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard,
Arn,
Ric
Tully,
Flair.
Rick, and... shit. Can't even think of it. That's how much I love
That was
him.
his name. Shit.
That's how much I love him. Yeah, it would be shit. Arn, why am I blanking here? Arn, Tully, Rick, and... I don't know. It wasn't Mongo. It was before Mongo.
Yeah, what was that? That had Steve Mongo McMichael, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair.
And that was
Can't remember the fourth guy.
Benoit was in that one. Benoit was in it eventually.
Was it the original? Was it Ole Anderson?
Ole, that's right. You always forget about him. I forgot about that. The two Andersons, duh.
Yes. And then, gosh, I would have to agree. The Four Horsemen were just unbelievable, and they were fun back then in the 80s. I'm shocked he didn't say the Mega Powers with Hulk Hogan and Randy.
No.
And you know what? And I like the Four Horsemen, of course. Anything with Rick is just awesome. Evolution was good. I like the original DX, like both those guys said. But I did like, because of the original three guys in NWO,
Yeah.
Hogan, Hall, and Nash.
The original three are great. I mean, once NWO started growing and then the Wolfpack and all that, yeah, it wasn't great, but definitely, I mean, great faction. Even, you know what, even the what was it, Nexus? I mean, that was cool when it came out. I didn't like it as it went on, but yeah, when they first started, I thought that was great. I think in a newer sort of faction, I'm surprised one of Brandon's honorable mentions weren't the Spirit Squad. I figured he would enjoy that very much. That'll probably be Jake's. Let's make that Jake's favorite.
Yep.
Spirit Squad.
One of the things we need to do in the future, one of the pay-per-views, we have to go back to WCW when we cover one eventually. Remember when they had the Tower of Doom steel cage where you had the 3 stack cages?
Yeah.
We got to cover that sometime.
We'll have to look
one
that.
of those.
Find
one of those, and even World War III when they used to do those with the 60-man Royal and the 3 rings.
Mm-hmm.
Those were fun. And even some point we'll have to cover Bash at the Beach, 96 when that all happened. The turn. We'll cover that. If you look at it, it had a great thing. And then Starrcade 97 is another one I want to talk about eventually with
Sting, right?
Sting. Yep, Sting returns and fights Hogan and changes the whole WCW landscape and gets them back. So, lastly, we have the top 3 Vince McMahon moments. So, honorable mention for Brandon, of course.
No comment.
Kiss My Ass Club when he ended up getting the stink face from Rikishi.
From
his,
him?
His
From
facial,
himself?
his facial reaction was priceless. Look it up if you can't remember. Do you have an honorable mention?
I don't. There's a lot of good Vince McMahon moments, but I'll just keep to a top 3. So no honorable mention from me.
Number 3 for him, the unveiling of him with the Ministry of Darkness.
That was a great moment.
It was fantastic.
I agree with him there. I wouldn't have
Didn't he
that.
say, "It was me, Austin. It was me all along."
It was me when he pulls his hood back. Yeah. No, my number 3 Vince McMahon moment would probably be the beer truck. I mean, that's got to be the
That's
best.
when he's swimming. That was my number 3 too.
Him swimming is amazing. You have to love that.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. He sold that so nice.
He's just swimming in it. Number 2 for Brandon, everything with DX, 2006, 2007.
Okay, I like that. My number 2 would be when he was with Trish and Linda was like sedated, and then that was when Linda came up and he just. And it was the moment. It was that whole storyline, but the moment, I think it was WrestleMania 17, maybe, I think, when she got up out of the chair, and it was when he fought Shane. Mm-hmm. She got up out of the chair and wasn't sedated and kicked him right in the nads, and you can see him because he opens his legs up, but it was absolutely great because his face was fantastic, and it was just. His face has to be some of my favorite, but that was definitely number 2 for me.
So Brandon's number 1 is my number 2, so I'll just give it at the same time. Everything with Austin, of course, not that. He said the first stunner, and then the Tyson and Austin. You ruined it. You ruined it. Yeah. So that was my number 2. Number 1.
My number 1 is the Austin with the fake gun. Definitely. Always will be my favorite. Unfortunately, whether it was today or whether it was last week, I was listening to the podcast, and it was not real pee. I was very disappointed to know that. It was a Whizzinator. But when he pissed himself after Austin had the fake Bang 316 gun, when Austin said it was hunting season.
Yeah, like that,
absolutely amazing.
That was part of my number 2, but like getting hit with a bedpan because that was not that was not supposed to happen. That was not part of it, and he did that. That was great. My number 1, just thinking back, is like he talked about DX, is still that promo where Triple H and Shawn Michaels come out as them and play the stand back video.
Yes,
I love that. So. That would be my number 1.
I mean, him tearing his quads is also great. If I had honorable mentions, but
I like when he almost tripped. Did you see that when he almost tripped on the rope and he kicked it? And he just turns and kicks it. He's like, what the hell? You know, because he has to remain a heel.
Yep, you got that, and then I mean, obviously the Bret Hart stuff. I mean, like you said, it's so hard to pick 3 Vince McMahon moments because he's got so many, and we could sit here all day and talk about them. We could do a top 20 if we wanted to, and still probably not even get half of them.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of good Vince McMahon. So that was a great question, though. I like that. Was that you?
That was me.
Wow, you are so smart some days.
I know. Thank you. So leading that
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And into next week, Ryan will be joining us. Ryan from the Grown Ups podcast is going to join us. We're going to cover 1998 King of the Ring. Great card if you have a chance to look at it. Obviously, it's known for the Hell in the Cell, but it's going to be a great one to cover. Looking forward to that. And then I also have the topic for next week.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this yet.
No.
So the top 3 wrestlers to never win the heavyweight title in WWE or WCW. So if they won one, it doesn't matter. They could have never won a heavyweight title.
And are we going to have somebody pick for next week a show to watch after 98?
King of the Ring 98.
Or do we want to wait till next week and have someone pick that?
I put on there, I haven't picked one yet, and so I'll let you decide on this. Do you want to do Bash?
Okay.
Do you want to do Bash at the Beach 96 or Starrcade 97?
Let's do. I've seen them both. Might as well just get Bash out of the Beach 96 out of the way. We'll do the outsiders.
So we'll do that the following week, Bash at the Beach 96, which would be, so that would put us at episode 28.
And then that will be the one. Is that Brandon coming back on that one?
Brandon returns.
So we'll have him pick the one after that. How about that?
Yeah, we can have him do that. Stat guy will pick something someday.
His nose.
You know, I figured episode 28, we can already name it, or 27 could be, all I kept thinking about, you know that song, My Boyfriend's Back and There's Going to Be Some Trouble, all that whole thing, that song from back in the day?
No.
If I played it, you'd know it.
Nah.
So, you would know it, I'm telling you.
Is it the Beach Boys?
No, it's a woman.
I don't know then.
Because we could have My Brandon's Back and there's going to be some pumpkin spice or something stupid.
Well, by that time it'll be November, so it'll be like Thanksgiving. It'll be some turkey.
Because we're going to have
He'll drop the pumpkin spice and go to Thanksgiving food.
We're going to have the Over the Line Sports Podcast first annual Turkey Bowl, which is going to be great. We're going to enjoy that and have a good time.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yes, it is. So we'll have to find a field for it.
Anthony Wayne High School.
I don't know if they'll let us play on their field. We could play on the band practice field.
We probably could, honestly.
I bet you if I talk to Ryan, he might be able to get us in there.
I bet you he could.
Or, well, wait a minute. I think we could use the field across from. I sit on the board of the Youth Foundation. I'll ask. I'll pay. I bet you we can get it paid for just to use the field for one day. The across from at Nona France where all the people play down there, where they play all the kids sports.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll talk to them. See what they say. Maybe we can do it. That'd be fun.
Okay.
So, as always, thank you to our sponsors, All Wear Clothing, as we mentioned, Verizon, PNC, and Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. Visit Scene. He will help you out. Thank you, Scene.
Thanks, Scene, but not in Luxembourg. Those Luxembourgians aren't going to be very happy with Scene.
Right. So, as always, good morning, as it is right now. Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
We come on hot times, baby, hot times.